So I went into school today for the first time since lockdown began, and I had the opportunity to just go into my classroom and pick up some books, because when my school reopens next week, that corridor where my classroom is going to be out of bounds. And basically, in our school, we're just using one block, and everywhere else it's going to be closed off, I suppose, to make it easier for cleaning and keeping the one-way system and everything else. Which makes total sense, but it means it feels really strange to be going back to school next week and not be in my room, and also obviously just be working with a bubble of 8 or 9 students for the whole day. Really, I think we're just going to be focusing on well-being and on study skills, things that are applicable, for this new blended learning that students are going to continue to work at home and have some face-to-face contact from September. But I guess it's just a real unknown as to how much face-to-face contact they're going to be able to have in September onwards. I suppose if they change the 2 metre distance and they lower that, then we might be able to run some form of timetable. But logistically, it's really challenging, and I think, I felt a bit sad thinking about not being able to use the staff room, not being able to go and make a cup of tea, all those little aspects of school life that you take for granted, seeing your friends, chatting with your colleagues. It's going to be really different. But I think it's really positive to be going back to some form of work in a work environment, because working at home is really challenging, when you're trying to separate work from the other areas of your life. I feel that during lockdown everything's kind of blended into one in not a particularly healthy way, and so you feel like a bit claustrophobic in your own home because that's your workspace as well. Plus the challenges of having children and other people in that environment too, who are also trying to do their own stuff. I feel like it's exciting to go back. I feel like I'm looking forward to seeing the students I'm going to see. But yeah, it's going to be really strange. One of my colleagues is leaving at the end of the year. I don't feel like we're going to have much of a party or a send-off about that, which makes me a little bit sad for her as well. It's a really anticlimactic finish to the school year, and I think in a lot of ways, the struggle is going to increase in September because we're going to feel that sense of having lost so much of this year, but we're still going to have to be persevering with blended learning for now as well. I've been thinking more about how to more effectively use online learning. Pupil engagement really does vary. I have definitely found that we've contacted parents to maybe explain that children haven't done work. I feel like they've been really supportive, and that's really helped to up engagement and increase it. There's still ongoing tech issues though, and one thing we've been thinking about is how digital competency is not the same thing as having equipment. Digital competency is about troubleshooting, about being able to find answers to your problems. And what we're actually finding is a lot of parents and children are messaging us saying, I can't log on, I can't open this document, I can't edit it. And these are all digital competency issues, really. I think we assume that young people, because they're always on smartphones swiping, that they're digitally competent, but that's not quite the same thing. I really hope now, moving forward, that we have a real sense of togetherness as a school community, that we can really, as teachers across the profession now and across counties and areas, whatever the differences are with our local authorities, I just hope we can really pull together and help one another to give their best to our children, because this is a new situation for everyone. But I'm sure if we can pool our experience and our knowledge, what's worked, what hasn't worked, then as schools we can become stronger and we can be offering a better quality of teaching and learning for students if they're at home, if they're shielding, if they're only in 1 day a week, then we're going to, really have to make sure that they're getting a quality provision as best that we can, and that they know how to access it, and we remove all the barriers for that. I am really excited though that we're carrying on. We have been working during lockdown. We're still working now. We're going into a new phase of it. And ultimately, I think we're all really looking forward to taking these steps and measures to have more and more contact time, hopefully moving into a new normal.
Hit subscribe if you'd like to follow my vlog for more updates on teaching, reading and studying.